Okay, so today we're going to do some stuff that's a little bit more organic in nature, subject-wise. So hopefully you've had a chance to go take a look at the pictures. And I chose this flower for today. Just like before, I'm going to turn the bottom layer off for a little bit, because what I'm trying to do, and the reason that we're doing these guidelines, is typically when I have kids start drawing, a lot of them are totally capable of drawing, but they give me like this little teeny drawing. And I want you to get used to filling up the square, whatever size it is. We're going to gradually start working larger. And so by doing this, I'm trying to help you develop a little bit of a sense of proportion. So if I look at where the peak of this is, it's not the center. So if I find that center and I come over a little bit, that peak is going to be like right in here. And basically I just do that. I look at, where's the center and where is my next corner or edge for like where this flower is going to sit. So I just create some guidelines for myself. This isn't a portrait, so if it's not 100% perfect, I'm not too worried about that. But this will help me get a good general proportion for this particular flower. You'll also notice today there is a piece of paper over here on this side. That's because I've got some drawings on this side of my sketchbook over here that I don't want to drag my hand through. So I'm using what's called a cover page, and that just goes right underneath my hand so that when I set it down, I'm not like smearing into my drawing here. So I'm going to bring back my picture. And when you're working with man-made objects, like in the still lifes, you see a lot of perfect shapes. Perfect triangles, perfect circles, perfect squares, rectangles, cubes, cylinders sometimes. But when you are working with organic, it's not so perfect and it's not so exact. And so when I start doing my drawing for like this flower, I'm looking at the general shape first. And this is called working general to specific. And I'm just basically looking at the general shape of the petals. And I'm not going to worry about whether I've got every shape with every little nook and cranny and line right now. I just want to get a general of where these petals are sitting. And I look at little shapes, like there's this little soft sort of triangular shape right here at the edge of this petal. And I just look at some of those things along the way. And then I'm going to get more specific. Once I've kind of got it roughed in, I'm going to get a lot more specific with it. So then I'm going to grab my eraser. And now I can take some of these guidelines that I had out. And I can get a lot more detailed with each individual petal now. Still don't have to pay attention just yet to all of the little waves that happen on each petal. But I can start looking at some of the bigger folds. And then as I work into the details, then I can work more and more into creating that kind of feathery edge. And again, we're working with a sketch. When I have sketches, or when I'm working on sketches, I rarely will spend a lot of time erasing. I just go back in, fix my mistake, and run with it. And then when you take out the rest of your little guidelines, you end up with a contour drawing of your subject. So if I take my guidelines out now, you can kind of see, not bad for 7-8 minutes of work here. I got another one for you. I was going to take a look at the Puma that we looked at. So again, I'm starting with my guidelines. And then once I have that, I can bring back my picture. So I have something that I'm using for my reference. And then I can just start laying that in there. It's kind of got a round face behind that muzzle. Sort of triangular ears, but they are very rounded at the top, so. And then we have this sort of interposed heart. We get the bottom of it right here. get the top of it a little bit different shape, because it kind of goes wide at the eyes there. But his eyes are quite large. Very round on the bottom, a little flatter at the top, and the pupil sits high. Same thing over here, flattens out through the top, very round through the bottom. Pupil sits really high in the eye. I'm going to move this one up just a little bit. And now I can fix things. If I'm like, he needs a little bit more face or a little bit more to his muzzle. And again, it's a sketch, so I'm not really stopping to erase mistakes. I am sort of fixing them as I go. I'm not going to get bogged down in the details. That's probably one of the biggest things. When people start drawing, they'll try to do something that's maybe a little above what they're ready for, and they get overwhelmed. They see this whole thing and they're like, and can't like even figure out how to start it. Or they will get so lost trying to figure out all the details that they lose the picture, the proportions as a whole. And that's why you work general to specific. You get your proportions of the cat correct. You get the basic size, basic shape of the head correct. And then you can go back in and start to detail out